Alert.
And Coin 6 staying on top of the ethical and legal questions surrounding former Secretary of State Shemia Fagan.
Oregon government agencies are facing federal subpoenas for documents linked to her and the owners of the cannabis chain LaModa. Now, expense records just released by the Secretary of State's office raising even more questions. Elise Haas looking into those. Elise?
There's a lot to dig into here, including hotel and car rental expenses related to various trips in 2022, including to the southern Oregon coast. So in September of 2022, a revenue accountant emailed Fagan's executive assistant about how to separate personal use from state business in a rental car charge. For example, her email says state employees cannot benefit from state contracts. So in this case, this vehicle was rented for state business and then kept for personal use, which is an ethical violation in a couple of different ways. Fagan later resigned on May 2nd of this year over ethical concerns connected to her work as a consultant for the cannabis chain LaModa. In a letter to Governor Kotek, Fagan stated she did nothing wrong ethically or legally, saying, "While I am confident that the ethics investigation will show that I followed the state's legal and ethical guidelines in trying to make ends meet for my family, it is clear that my actions have become a distraction from the important and critical work of the Secretary of State's office." So that ethics investigation is ongoing, with a report due before the commission by July 14th. Again, we're only beginning to look through Fagan's spending while in office, but we reached out to the acting Secretary of State's office. They said in part, Secretary Fagan's frequent travel with family members was not appropriate for an elected official. Staff at the agency frequently pushed back on the plans for these trips, but their advice was ignored.
Interesting that the staff pushed back on it. So if she had any concerns then, she obviously didn't listen to the staff at that point.
Right. It's like she has these ideas about rules that she can bend. And when you go through these emails, there's pet fees, she's bringing her children along on trips, getting a car for a business trip, and then keeping it for a couple extra days for her personal use. These are the kinds of questions, that we need answers to for why that was allowed to happen and why she's putting that on the state's dime.
Okay, you've been on this since the very beginning. I know you continue to follow it. Elise Haas, thank you.
Well, new